So, I don't really know what we're gonna be doing today. I got some ideas. Something that we can always do is clean up the place, like over here. This has been a mess for a long time, and I'd like to pretty this up a teeny bit. Another thing, way over there, I've got a slime chunk marked out. I'd like to make the guts of a slime farm, not really the outside thing, which is kind of, unfortunately, a habit of mine. I doubled up on the kelp farm, twice the kelp production. But yeah, we could always pretty up things, make them look a little bit better. Speaking of prettying things up, I actually made a few changes on this road. I made it a little bit smoother, right? Up until about that point. Chopped off the canopies of that tree, so now we can see Buddy over there. Looks nice and green, less piggy. And added buttons, as was suggested. Then there's like these little rocks that stick out of the ground. I like that a lot. And since we're in a savannah, it doesn't really make sense that there's water in here, right? Because it doesn't rain in a savannah. So I'll probably have to do something about that. But I kind of like it. Yes. I've been doing quite a bit of running around and thinking. And one of the things that I've been thinking about was procrastination. So, when it comes to procrastination, for at least me, my brain might not prioritize certain things, and it's not like right in front of me. I find that I kind of put it off, right? Because I can distract myself with other things that are a higher priority. And sometimes I bump into little obstacles that make me prioritize things. So what I'm getting at is these farms here. If I want to finish off this road, the thing that I had prioritized at that point, and I was trying to break blocks and the piggies escaped and everything, right? I need to do something about these animals. I mean, I could just make a mess and let them free and have to wrangle them when I go to make a farm, or I can make a farm and transport them to that farm and be done with it, right? So before, this cow farm wasn't really a priority to me, but now it is, because I want to wrap up this road. So that's a tool. I've been able to use that when I used to run. I don't really like running, and I know that. That's another tool, is learning when you can cut your losses and find a cardio thing or an alternative that's better for you, right? But personally for me, I used to run. And when I did used to run, I used to put my shoes on my computer chair so I wouldn't turn on my computer and sit down, because I had to move my shoes and the shoes were in the way, right? So it's kind of a tool. It's just putting an obstacle in the way, makes you think of it, and then if you're in a position where you can go, all right, fine, I'll just do that. That's something that we can just do, right? Even if we might not want to do it. Now, Minecraft is a lot easier to make yourself want to do things because it's fun, right? But for running, for me, oof. Another option is this red wool. This line of red wool, right? The line of red wool ends where the lighting of these pieces of glowstone, and I think that torch is playing a part of it. There's glowstone in the farm, there's the lanterns, right? That's lighting that's supposed to be there, and it blends in a little bit, and it looks nice. Compared to the torches, right? The torches don't really look that great. They're temporary lighting to keep mobs away, but I like to get rid of it and replace it with prettier options, right? So if I want to get rid of that obstacle, that's kind of in my way visually every time I go to get something. Oh yeah, I gotta do that, right? And if I want to get rid of this obstacle, I gotta pretty up the place. Those are some examples of self-imposed obstacles, and that's a tool that I use to combat procrastination. But yeah, we can do all that later. I want to make something over here instead. Oof. Yes, this place is pretty cool. It's got like this plateau down there, and it's got this floating island, right? So I think that's kind of, I don't want to say magic, but like alieny. I want beams and stuff, and I want like a tractor beam that look like it's pulling this floating island out of the ground. Maybe it's just taking like a chunk of the earth, and that's why that's there, right? But what I want to make right down there somewhere, well, actually it'll have to be like way in the ground. It's something that I've actually already made right about there. I can actually show you. Whee! Splash. This. Hi, buddy. Bonk. This is basically what we're making. This is at level 36. It's just a big pad, and at level 36 is when they start to spawn. That's about it. Over there, right there, is directly below another mob farm. So the rates conflict all the time. So then that's why we're making one all the way over here. Alrighty, 87. So we got a little bit of ways to dig. I'm gonna go off to the side a little bit. Probably start about right here. And just give myself an elevator back up to this pad and also back up to the top of the mountain. So I better start digging. 36 is a little bit low. I think I can get away with below 40. I went with 36 for that other one because slimes are 3 blocks high. I think we can go with 39. It should be okay. As long as they're below 30, it doesn't matter what their light level is, so we can have torches. And other mobs won't spawn there. But below 30. And then we have to go and find 2 minus 2. So that's minus 2 right here. Then we gotta go find 2, which is right here. So this is the first corner. 2 minus 2. Right, I'll show you. 2, 2 minus 2. The middle number is the up and down. So if I built up or dug down, you'd see that number change. Right, so this is the first corner. 2 minus 2. Splash. Aha! Hello. Wonk. So, slime balls, they're kind of something that you don't really need a lot of until you need a lot of them, right? I mean, slime blocks and slime balls, you have like a big redstone build. Most of the time you might use like a couple sticky pistons. Maybe you have a bunch of sticky pistons, but probably not more than a stack, right? And for slime blocks, you might have a bunch of flying machines in one area. That could use a whole bunch of slime blocks, and that's an example of you needing a whole bunch of slime, right? And that's not foreshadowing for something else I have in mind. I mean, just making this platform alone, I have over a stack of slime balls, right? So we're not going to go too wild when it comes to making a slime platform. What I need to do is basically dig out this 3 block tall from here, and it's gonna be 4 blocks in. Right? This could be pretty similar to our other mob farm where the slime, they're just gonna jump here. They just walk right off the platform, and then we'll collect them all in one area, and we'll beat them up, take the slime. No. So while I've got the time, I figured we could have a little chat and talk about some stuff. So, well, originally I planned on keeping my videos purely just 100% Minecraft, right? So no talking about the process of making the videos, or no IRL stuff, and it's why I don't have like a big dubstep here's my name kind of intro, because there's nothing wrong with that, but I just kind of feel like it would break the immersion a little bit. It's just not really my preference for my stuff. But I've broken that rule a few times already. A good example would be the villager breeder episode, where I talked about it's very like redstone intense, right? So I kind of, and I didn't know how people would feel about that kind of thing. Very scatterbrained episode as well. So I was just worried about it, I guess. And well, like right now is another example. I don't plan on making it a habit though, right? 99% of my videos won't have any talks like this, but my opinion has changed recently. I started streaming quite a bit, actually. I streamed Dark and Darker, the third playtest for Dark and Darker. It's a PvP game, so if, I mean, it's still on YouTube. It's in my live tab, right? I think. But yeah, it is a player versus player. So I got grumpy, said some spicy words. Nothing bad, right? Just sometimes like, oh, dang it. Just wasn't enough emphasis, you know what I mean? Yeah, I had fun. So, and I streamed a lot. And most of it was preparing and playing in a tournament. Prepared a lot. Then the rules changed like the day before. I'm not blaming that for my loss. I lost in the second round. And the only reason why I won the first round was because the dude didn't show up. So, I learned a lot. I learned more in that tournament than I did the week leading up to it while I prepared for that tournament. And I played a lot, right? It was like less than 2 weeks. I played over 80 hours. Or I streamed over 80 hours at least. I did play a little bit off stream as well with my buddies. People, you know, popped in, asked questions, and I had a lot of fun. Wasn't planning on getting personal, but I opened up a little bit about life. And nothing like super deep or anything, but we all chatted about stuff. It was fun. I liked it a lot. Realized that maybe like an update every once in a while is a good thing. So 80 hours over 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks, is a lot of time spent gaming, right? Streaming. So unfortunately the stars kind of aligned for that. Well, I should say that this isn't like a sob story or anything. You know, things happen, and, you know, absolutely could have been worse. I would not be making a Minecraft video right now. It would not be my priority if things are bad, right? Like, I'm doing pretty good right now. And I'm extremely lucky for the safety net that I have. I love my parents to bits. And I'm not just saying that because they're probably watching this video. So you might have noticed that my last video was over 10 weeks ago. A little over 10 weeks ago. And my upload rate has slowly been getting less and less, right? Well, the reason for that is not including this video, but the last 7 videos I did, I was working afternoons full-time in a factory. And then the last 3 videos, of those 7, the last 3 videos, I was spending the first half of my day in college, and the second half at work. So whatever videos I was able to get, it was like weekend stuff. Yeah, it was pretty alright. The hand tools that I got to work with in the factory were the same tools that I worked with at college, and I'm a trade student, so kind of not very homework heavy course. It's all hands-on stuff, so whatever little homework I had, I did on my lunch breaks, right? My dad was there. I worked with my dad. He's the same wing, and he's a table over for me, so it was pretty good. We just kind of worked away and listened to the radio and made fun of the commercials and stuff. It was fun, and it was a choice, right? Last year I kind of coasted on my Walmart pay, and everything kind of went to bills. I didn't have much just money to put away and save, and I was trying to save for a down payment on a house, which is a little optimistic. And I actually, even though Walmart was a part-time job and the factory job was a full-time job, I liked the factory job more because it was Monday to Friday and I had my weekends. But Walmart, it was like I didn't have a day off like both semesters, unless road conditions were terrible. And then late October, I liquidated most of my savings. It's not gone, right? I just don't really have it. And again, that was a choice completely, and it actually turned out to be a good thing, right? So at that point, I actually had enough. I was talking to a mortgage specialist, right? And I was looking at a lot in a trailer park that was a walking distance away from work. It would have been really nice. And then early November, I got laid off. So buying that lot would have destroyed my credit score. I wouldn't have been able to pay utilities and mortgage and everything, so kind of dodged a bullet. At the time I was bummed, but like in retrospect, like I dodged a missile. That would have been really bad for me. Like I said, it was optimistic, right? But at work, I was pretty pressed about getting laid off. Like, it was kind of looming over my head the entire time I was there. And looking back on it, I should have dragged my feet, because what got me was a work shortage, right? So if I dragged my feet, I could have squeezed out like another paycheck, which would have been nice for the holidays and everything, right? Yeah, I haven't had a job since. I've applied to... man, where haven't I applied, right? I applied to a building supplies tool retail store, and they told me that they were downsizing, right? Like, I'm a carpentry student that worked at Walmart. You think I'd be a pretty good candidate, but they declined me. At least they messaged me back, right? But they declined me because they were downsizing. They weren't cutting hours, they were laying people off. A retail joint was laying people off, right? So that's how you know it's getting bad, eh? So I applied for unemployment, and they said no. I'm like, pretty please? And they're, oh, you're a student? No. You have 16 hours. 16 hours away. 16 insured hours away from qualifying for unemployment. No. So they closed my claim. And the worst part is that I worked my work term, my first block carpentry work term, for free. So those 5 weeks is 200 hours. I would have had it. And I was one of 2 people in my entire class that worked that work term for free. And the other guy worked with me. He was a close friend of mine. We were bummed about that when we got back. But, I mean, whatever. So then I moved in with my parents, moved to the internet. It was a Christmas break, and I've been full goblin mode since, and I've been just streaming. Is that... Wait a minute. I learned this from Minecraft speedrunners. You can... Oh, there we go. Where are you, bud? Right here. This way. Oh, Cuddles. You're in the ravine. Cuddles! Hey, buddy. Get him. Blast him. That is Cuddles, yeah. Maybe he can be like an outdoor cat. Where we kind of just... Oh, I really hope he doesn't get picked on by dolphins. But if he ever comes up to the surface, there's all these boats here that he can bump into. That ravine doesn't lead anywhere. And there's no magma blocks at the bottom of it. So they aren't going to get pulled down and burnt up. Woohoo! Splash. Alrighty. Ta-da! Yeah, this farm certainly can be better. Just by a little bit. If I built it in a swamp instead of just a single slime chunk, we could have more chunks to play with. Right? And instead of hoping that they just jump off, you can actually put either an iron golem on the outsides and have them fall in. Right? Or you can put one in the center, and they can all just hop towards it. Might save us a little bit of iron. Instead of torches, you can actually use brown mushrooms for lighting. Just don't have any. Apparently light level 1 is the absolute fastest rate for slimes. And down here, the magma blocks, this is good, right? But I kind of want to do something where I can choose to bop them, or I can choose to sort them if I ever just for whatever reason want a big slime, like as a pet or something. I could just spawn, or not spawn one, but like wait for one to spawn and I could sort it out, and that'd be pretty cool to do eventually. Yeah. Or if I want XP, I can break them up all into little ones and whack them all at once. That could be pretty cool. But at the end of the day, I mean, sometimes you're just gonna dig a hole. It's like therapeutic. Yeah. So I know all this, not because I'm a genius, but because I found out after I built it. Except for the magma block thing. I was looking how to kill them. And Il Mango. No, I was looking how to light it up. And I saw how Il Mango did it, so I kind of copied it. Yeah, so, once again, Il Mango, helping me out quite a bit. They have a video, and I'll link that down below, if you'd like to see it as well. It's very informative on how to optimize your slime farm. So eventually, one day, we will come back here and optimize it. But for now, I mean, I got like 2 stacks of slime balls just making this. And it's slowly working. Just a teeny bit. So I actually ended up using a lot of my emeralds for that. More slime balls. Woohoo. Oh, it's over here. And I haven't been able to get more back. Cool. And the reason why that is because apparently this is broken now. Where do you want to go? Here? Yeah, apparently the fence is too big. They're still spawning villagers in, but the fence gate is too big of a hitbox for it to work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try... Is that gonna connect? It doesn't. So maybe that's small enough. I'm hoping that's small enough. Man, what I also want to do is break beds. So they're all sleeping right now, right? Please be the right one. Please be the right one. Oh, wait, I want to keep that. Please be the right one. They just spawn in there. Oh, great. So they can't jump up here because they're on the slab. So we should be okay. Gotta bop you down the hole. Down you go. Bye-bye. Then I can break this. And then hopefully the babies will fall down that. Okay, so what do I need? I want the bed here. I want the bed here. Ooh. That's snazzy. And I want that there. I want a torch there. And I want the carpet there. I want the glass all back. And we should be okay. Where are these glass pieces from? Here? Oh great, there's one missing glass piece in this whole thing and I don't know where it goes. Right there. Aha. Yes! Boom. It's all perfect. And beep bop boop. As it was. Except for this feller. Where'd you go? You there. Whoa, dude, do you see what's down there? That's insane. Oh. Alright, can you reach the carrots? They can. Can you throw them back and forth? Yeah, you too. So my worry is that I'm not sure if the fence gate was blocking the carrots from falling down as well. So, well, if they threw any, then I should be able to pick them up right here. I threw a stack. They got 24. That should be enough for a baby. Alright, I give up. So I put the fence post back and apparently it just works now. What do you got? Yeah. How are you? Yeah. Wahahaha. Alrighty. Thanks for watching. I wanted to get one last video out before the turn of the year. And, I hope, as long as everything goes well, should work. Okay. Yep. It's never too late to not procrastinate. Eat your vegetables. Alright, bye-bye.